Everyone already knows about ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini at this point. They're basically household names now. But there's a whole second layer of AI tools most people still haven't touched, tools built for one specific job and built to do that one job better than a general-purpose chatbot ever could, precisely because they're not trying to do everything at once. These are the tools you should actually be using in 2026. And by the end of this video, at least one of them is probably going to become part of your daily routine. If you want more practical, no-fluff AI tool breakdowns like this one, subscribe and stick around. And let us know in the comments which of these 7 you're already using, and which ones are completely new to you. I'm genuinely curious how many of these are flying under the radar. Let's start with research, because this is a category where general chatbots genuinely struggle. When you need answers with real sources attached, not just a confident-sounding paragraph that might be entirely made up. Perplexity is built specifically to solve that problem. Instead of generating an answer purely from what it learned during training, it actively searches the live web in real time and returns a synthesized answer with citations you can actually click through and verify yourself one by one, rather than just trusting it blindly. That distinction matters enormously the moment you're researching anything where being wrong actually costs you something. A school paper, a work report, a decision you're about to make based on what you read. A standard chatbot wasn't fundamentally designed around sourcing and citation. It was designed around generating fluent, confident-sounding text. Perplexity flips that priority, and for anyone doing real research work on a regular basis, that difference alone tends to make it worth the switch. Next is Google's NotebookLM, which solves a very specific and very common problem. You upload your own sources, PDFs, meeting transcripts, lecture notes, research papers, up to dozens of documents at once. And it becomes a genuine expert on exactly that material, and only that material. It'll answer questions and generate summaries grounded strictly in what you actually gave it, rather than mixing in outside information it happens to know from training, which is exactly what you want when you're trying to stay faithful to a specific set of sources, rather than getting a generic overview. For students juggling a semester's worth of readings, researchers working through a stack of academic papers, or really anyone drowning in reference material for a single specific project, this has quietly become one of the most genuinely useful tools to come out in the last year. Not because it's flashy, but because it solves a real, everyday problem almost perfectly. Notion AI, for turning notes into a project brain. Notion AI has evolved well past simple note-taking at this point into something closer to a central workspace command center for an entire team. It can automatically summarize meetings you didn't even attend, organize scattered, disconnected notes into structured, navigable project pages, and surface exactly what you actually need in the moment without you having to dig through weeks of old notes to find it. If your work involves managing a lot of moving pieces across a team, deadlines, ongoing projects, decisions made in meetings 3 weeks ago that somehow still matter today, this tool is built specifically for that kind of chaos. The real value isn't any single feature in isolation. It's that all of your team's scattered information lives in one connected place. And the AI layer on top makes that information actually retrievable when you need it, instead of buried in someone's personal notes app that nobody else can access. Grammarly, for writing that sounds like you. Grammarly has moved well past basic spell check at this point. It now works inside almost every text box on your desktop and browser, quietly rewriting for clarity and enforcing a consistent tone across everything you write, whether that's a quick Slack message or a formal client email. This matters most for anyone writing a genuinely high volume of emails or messages throughout the day, who simply can't afford to sound sloppy, inconsistent, or rushed, especially when different messages are going out to different audiences that expect different tones. It's an easy tool to underestimate precisely because it works quietly in the background, rather than demanding your attention. But the cumulative effect on how professional and consistent your written communication comes across is genuinely significant over time. Canva's AI tools for design without a designer. Canva's built-in AI features let literally anyone generate and edit graphics, resize a single design across a dozen different formats automatically, and build out a full, consistent visual identity without any formal design training whatsoever. This is especially useful for creators and small businesses that genuinely need professional-looking visuals, social media posts, thumbnails, marketing materials, but simply don't have a design budget to hire someone or the time to learn design software from scratch. What used to require either real design skill or an expensive freelancer can now be handled directly inside a tool built specifically to make that process forgiving for beginners, with the AI filling in the gaps in your design knowledge rather than requiring you to already have it. Gamma, for presentations in minutes. Building a slide deck from scratch is one of the more tedious, time-consuming parts of most office jobs, and Gamma exists specifically to shortcut that process. It turns a rough outline, or even just a simple prompt, into a fully designed presentation in a matter of minutes, handling layout, visual hierarchy, and design choices automatically in the background. That's genuinely enough to get most people roughly 80% of the way to a finished deck, leaving you to focus your actual time and energy on refining content and messaging, rather than fighting with alignment, fonts, and slide transitions that don't matter nearly as much as what you're actually saying. Otter.ai, for meetings. You don't have to take notes in. Finally, Otter.ai, which joins your calls directly, transcribes them in real time as they happen, and generates a searchable summary afterward with action items automatically pulled out and assigned, without you lifting a finger during the meeting itself. This removes one of the most quietly exhausting parts of a packed meeting schedule: the constant tension between trying to write everything down accurately and actually participating in the conversation happening in front of you. With this handled automatically, you get to just be present in the meeting and trust that the important details will still be there afterward when you actually need to reference them. None of these 7 tools replace ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini. They work alongside them, each one solving one specific problem better than a general-purpose chatbot realistically can, simply because they were built for exactly that one job. If this introduced you to something genuinely new, subscribe for more practical AI tool breakdowns like this one, and tell us in the comments which one of these you're planning to try first.